Okay, I have no music now. I was stretching in the middle of the wind outside of the tent on top of a stick, one leg. And then I saw someone that I know from the beach from time to time. She doesn't live here, and she's a yoga instructor. And all the yoga instructors now, for me, is like all the psychologists. All the psychologists I know, all of them, not 100%, more than that, all of them have told me that they studied psychology because they wanted to understand and enhance themselves, because they knew it was possible, or in order to overcome a trauma. Same thing with some yoga instructors, not with all of them, because then in here there is a lot of ego, a bigger ego, because everything is ego. But the bigger is the psychologist, that they didn't recognize what all of them, more than 100%, told me they wanted to study that. And then someone would say, no, I just did it to help the people. I felt that huge necessity to help the people. And it can be true. So there is always something, a new one that can be divided in another two, always. But then at the end is nothingness, everythingness, God, daimonion, call it whatever you want. Unzip your rational mind is killing your ego. And this is the conversation that I was having with her, because she is always giving me all the bad energy that she's feeling, like all these bombs, all these people dying, all these things, always. All the conversations are about that, and she's having tears in her eyes. And that's the clearest egocentric empathy. In order not to feel guilty for something that is happening there. Why it's not your fault? And if it was your fault, it would be either a mistake or either a lie. That is not. It's always these two. And then the avatar decides which way, which path to take. Suffering, not suffering, pleasure. The no suffering is the one, the fractal one. The suffering and the pleasure is the two sides of the same coin. But none of them is continuing. It's not ignoring, it's acknowledging and being aware of from the inside and the outside, and stop identifying with your masks. So I told her, I'm gonna tell to artificial intelligence this sentence because you are identifying. I said in many ways, right? She has a Hebrew tattoo. So she's been intoxicated much more than average people. And that's why she's into yoga, into maybe Christian, maybe whatever, maybe this, maybe that. And in the conversations, I saw the suffering all the time. And I said, I don't drink alcohol, because she said, oh, we can drink wine. And I said, I don't drink alcohol. But then I thought maybe she wants to talk. And I stopped talking to her, because she always told me that I was very intense. And she's not even caring about what I'm saying. Sometimes people say, wow, crazy, but thank you, or whatever. But this one is like asking for a miracle to prove what I'm saying. So the thing is that once I told her about the identity of everything, these different examples, but it was like too much for her, I said, one day you will learn, well, that yoga, beyond yoga is the non-duality, because yoga is the unity. So to see the unity, you have to be in non-dual perspective. I didn't explain that, of course. But then the identification, I said, you have to observe your masks that you are identified with from the inside and from the outside. You have to see it from both sides, because one is the one that you are feeling like your infinite inner cosmos, and the other one is the infinite outside cosmos. And the only barrier in between is all your identities and your rational mind that is so zipped. Unzip your rational mind and kill your ego. There's no drama in that. I made the same video in Spanish but with different stories.